We live in a world that just feels noisy, right? It's fast, it's loud, constant information coming at you.
Absolutely. Overwhelming sometimes.
Exactly. But then you see these people who have this quiet power, this way of connecting that really cuts through it all. And that power, we found, it really starts with what you see.
Not just with your eyes, you mean?
Right. Not just looking, but truly paying attention. So today, we're doing a deep dive into social intelligence. Think of it as a shortcut to getting really well informed on this, essential life skill.
The art of reading people, responding effectively.
Yes, but quietly, powerfully. We've dug through a lot of material on this, pulled together insights from all over. Let's get into it. Okay, so first things first, social intelligence. The absolute bedrock, the first tool you need, it's observation.
Right. And it's funny because it's not flashy, it's not loud.
No, not at all, but it's sharp, really sharp, like a blade you don't even see coming sometimes.
And that's exactly where most people kind of stumble. They look, sure, but they don't really see.
Yeah.
They jump to conclusions, they assume, and they miss the real game that's playing out. Like you might see someone smile, but you miss that little bit of tension in their jaw.
Or you hear, I'm fine, but you don't catch the tiny pause right before it.
Exactly. Or you hear the words, but you miss the energy or lack of energy behind them. It's subtle stuff.
And the key, the real unlock here, is taking your attention off yourself. Stop thinking about what you're going to say next, how you look.
That internal chatter, yeah.
Right. Observation. It's like a muscle. You have to actually train it. And when you do, you start noticing things. Like, people don't always say what they mean, but their bodies almost always tell the truth. You start feeling these little energy shifts even when nobody's talking.
And imagine the impact of that. Imagine walking into a room and like within seconds you get a sense of who's genuinely confident and who's maybe faking it a bit.
Yeah.
Who's open, who's guarded, maybe even who's, stretching the truth or feeling scared. And you learn this by watching more, not by talking more.
It's funny, we're sort of born with this skill, aren't we? Like babies, they're just pure observation machines.
That's a great point. They soak everything up.
But then we grow up and we're told to talk, perform, make our mark, and we forget how to just look. So if you really want to connect better, win with people, start looking again. Like when you meet someone new, just hold back for a second. Be still. Watch them. Let them show you who they are before you jump in to show them who you are.
And here's a kind of counterintuitive truth. The best communicators, they're not always the best talkers. Often they're the best listeners.
Okay.
And even more than that, they're the best watchers. They notice how people react to feedback, how someone's energy shifts when a louder voice enters the room.
Interruptions.
Interruptions, exactly. Or even just a long silence. What does that silence mean? These are signals, Tone, posture, speed, silence. It's a whole other language, a deeper language.
And just to be really clear, this isn't about judging people. It's not about sticking labels on them.
No, definitely not.
It's about understanding. Why do they move like that? Why do they say that specific? Why do they pull back when that topic comes up?
Yeah.
You shift from trying so hard to be interesting to becoming genuinely interested. Big difference.
And that actually brings us to maybe the most crucial starting point. Self-observation. It really all begins there, noticing your own patterns.
Like what?
Well, do you get nervous in certain situations? Do you fidget? Do you talk louder when you feel like you're not being heard? You have to see you before you can really truly see others.
That makes sense.
It builds empathy.
Yeah.
And it lets you move with intention, not just react on impulse.
So once you start sharpening that observation skill, you quickly realize something pretty huge. Most communication isn't actually in the words.
Right. So much of it is unspoken, and often it's completely unconscious. The words are just, a small part of the whole story.
It's everything else.
It's the tone, the pause, that look in their eyes, the way they shift in their seat, maybe a tightness in the shoulders. That's where the real truth often lies. The art is noticing what they're not saying. That's the unspoken language. That's where you find the deeper stuff.
Okay, classic example. Someone says, I'm fine. Okay, the words are clear.
Standard response.
But maybe their eyes are looking down the whole time, their voice is flat, their hands are kind of clenched in their lap. So what do you believe? The words. Or all those other signals.
Exactly. Most people just hear the I'm fine. But if you're reading between the lines, you get a much more accurate picture.
You start picking up on these, what did the source call them? Emotional slips.
Yeah, these little leaks of truth. Like someone laughs, but the smile doesn't really reach their eyes. You know that kind of laugh?
Oh, yeah. Polite, not real joy.
Right. Or they talk about this super exciting new project, but their shoulders kind of slump, as they say it.
Suggesting maybe it's more of a burden.
Could be. Or offering help while totally avoiding eye contact. These aren't just random things. They're tiny truths leaking out. The skilled person slows down enough to connect those dots.
And here's something even deeper. Sometimes people aren't even trying to hide things. They might not even know what they're truly feeling.
That's a really important point.
Like they say yes because they just don't know how to say no. Or they act strong because they were never shown it's okay to be vulnerable.
And if you can tune into that underlying energy beyond the surface words or actions, your understanding just skyrockets.
How so?
Well, you might be able to offer comfort without even asking probing questions. You might sense someone's overwhelmed, even if they say they're fine. You'd start to understand what people need, not just what they say they want.
And then you start seeing patterns, right? Not
Yeah.
just single moments.
Exactly. That's the next level. You notice someone always interrupts when they seem a bit nervous,
Or they always change the subject when things get too personal.
or they always crack a joke when the room gets serious. These habits, these aren't just quirks. They're signals. Often, they're survival strategies they developed long ago.
And seeing those patterns gives you something really powerful.
It does. It gives you the ability to respond instead of just reacting.
Explain that.
Well, say someone lashes out at you. The knee-jerk reaction is defensiveness, right? Anger back.
Sure.
But if you've observed their patterns, maybe you pause and think, okay, what's underneath this anger? Maybe it's fear, maybe shame, maybe just pure exhaustion.
Ah, so you're looking deeper.
Right. And when you see that, your whole response changes. You're not meeting anger with anger. You're addressing the root. And that builds trust like crazy.
And you mentioned silence earlier. How does that play into this unspoken language?
Oh, silence is huge. Sometimes the most powerful message is the one that's not spoken.
Like, what could it mean?
It could mean, I don't feel safe enough to speak right now, or I don't think you'll really get it, or maybe just, I need a minute to find the words.
And our instinct is often to fill that silence immediately.
Exactly. But if you can just sit with it comfortably, without rushing, you give them this incredible gift of space. And that space, it builds connection.
Interesting. What about mirroring? I've heard about that.
Yeah, mirroring is fascinating.
Yes.
It's often subconscious. People who feel connected tend to naturally mirror each other's posture, tone, even breathing rhythm.
So it just happens.
It does. But you can use it intentionally, very subtly, to build rapport and make someone feel more comfortable. The key word, subtly.
Because if it's obvious,
It feels manipulative, instantly breaks trust. The goal is always genuine connection, never manipulation.
so bringing this all together, when you learn to read between the lines, you start to understand people from the inside out, really.
You do. You stop taking things so personally. You stop just reacting to whatever's on the surface.
You start listening to the energy, reading the emotion, feeling the truth underneath the words.
You're trying to understand them. And in this rushed world, that act of trying to truly understand, it's rare. It's powerful. And honestly, it's magnetic.
Okay, let's talk about responding. You made this great distinction earlier between reacting and responding.
Yes, it's crucial. Reacting is quick, it's automatic, often emotional. Responding is, well, it's chosen. It's intentional, thoughtful, calm.
And that ability, that space between the trigger and your response, that's everything, isn't it? Being able to respond calmly.
It really is. And calm, in this context, it's not weakness. It's absolute control.
How does that calm actually impact things?
Oh, profoundly. When you can stay grounded in a tense situation, you literally change the energy of the room.
Yeah.
You become that steady point.
The person people turn to.
Exactly. People trust that calmness. And it comes from doing the work on your inner world first. When you're calm inside, you start speaking from wisdom, not from old wounds.
Can you give an example, like a real-world situation?
Sure. Imagine someone, maybe in a meeting, insults you, calls your idea stupid, or something like that.
Okay, gut reaction is probably anger, defensiveness.
Right. Snap back. Defend your idea.
Yeah.
But what if, instead, you just paused, looked at them calmly, steadily, and said something like, is there something else going on here? Or, tell me more about why you feel that way.
Wow, that completely flips it.
It does. You're not playing your game. You're responding to the energy underneath their words, not the surface attack.
Yeah.
It takes the wind right out of their sails.
But getting to that point, that takes practice.
Oh, absolutely. It's a skill you build. You train it by consciously pausing, by taking a deep breath, especially a longer exhale before you speak.
Okay.
By learning to feel your emotions,
Mm-hmm.
anger, frustration, whatever, without letting them drive the bus. And learning to hold space.
What does holding space really mean here?
It means letting someone else express themselves, even if it's intense, without you getting swept up in it or making it worse. Just listening, calmly, without interrupting every 5 seconds to give your opinion.
And your tone of voice in all this.
Yeah.
How important is that?
Hugely important. Some research suggests your tone actually carries more weight than your words.
Really?
Yeah. Think about saying, I'm fine. You can say it angry, sad, happy, bored. The words are the same, but the meaning totally changes with the tone. So consciously slowing down your speech a bit, letting your voice carry warmth, reassurance, that creates safety. It builds trust almost instantly.
And silence again. It comes up here too.
Definitely. Sometimes saying nothing is the most powerful response, especially in conflict.
Yeah.
Let the other person talk themselves out.
Let them empty the tank, so to speak.
Exactly. Then, when there's space, you step in calmly. Say only what needs to be said. Less is often more.
Okay, this connects to something else, boundaries. Calm communication doesn't mean being passive, right?
Not at all. It means setting clear lines of respect, but doing it with grace. You learn to say no without feeling guilty.
Or saying, I'm not available for that right now.
Or even, I need you to speak to me respectfully if we're going to continue this conversation. Clear, calm, firm.
Because if you don't set boundaries...
You're silently teaching people that your needs don't matter. And that just leads to resentment, burnout. It's unsustainable.
Yeah.
Real social intelligence means figuring out how to stay close to people without losing yourself in the process.
But the guilt, that's a big one for people when setting boundaries. What if they react badly?
That's common. But someone else's negative reaction doesn't automatically mean your boundary was wrong. It often just means they were used to getting a yes.
So you can be kind, but still hold the line.
Absolutely. I care about you, and I can't do that right now. Both can be true.
And boundaries actually help connection. That seems counterintuitive.
It does seem that way, but think about it. When you're clear about your limits, people know where they stand. There's no guessing game.
Ah.
And when you do say yes, they know it's real. It's not forced. It's not out of obligation. That builds genuine trust.
How does this apply to, say, listening? Can you set boundaries there?
Definitely. You could be a fantastic listener, but still say, I really want to hear this, but I'm feeling emotionally drained today. Can we pick this up tomorrow?
Or, I need this conversation to stay constructive.
Exactly. You're setting the terms for engagement respectfully. And that actually creates emotional safety. People know you won't just absorb everything endlessly or suddenly snap. They know what to expect.
So for someone struggling with this, where do they start?
Start small. Pick one area where you feel constantly drained or taken advantage of. Ask yourself, what do I really need here?
Okay.
And then practice saying it, calmly, simply. Maybe it's just, I need about 30 minutes to myself when I get home from work. Start there.
Boundaries aren't walls then.
No, they're more like invitations. Invitations for healthier relationships. They filter out the connections based on guilt, and they strengthen the ones built on real mutual respect.
You mentioned that space between trigger and response, that split second. That's really where the power is, isn't it?
Absolutely. That pause is everything. And emotional control, just to clarify, it's not about not feeling. It's not suppression.
Right. It's not being a robot.
No. It's about learning how to hold your emotion, acknowledge it, without letting it grab the steering wheel and drive your actions or your words.
Because emotions are signals, right?
Yeah.
Information.
Exactly. They're messengers, important ones. But you don't have to act on every single message immediately. Emotional intelligence is feeling fully, but choosing wisely how you respond.
Like that example of criticism in a meeting.
Right. Instead of immediate defense, you feel the sting. You acknowledge it internally, but you choose a calm response like, okay, interesting point. Can we maybe dig into that privately later? Control.
So what are some practical tools? How do you actually do that in the moment?
Okay, number one, the breath. Always the breath. When you feel that heat rising, consciously slow down your breathing, longer exhale. It literally tells your nervous system, it's okay. We're safe. We're in control.
Simple but powerful.
Incredibly. Second, know your triggers. What reliably sets you off? Get really honest about that. Awareness buys you that crucial half-second to pause.
Instead of being surprised by your own reaction.
Precisely. And third,
Mm-hmm.
try naming the emotion just to yourself. Okay, I'm feeling really insecure right now, or wow, I feel misunderstood. Just naming it can take some of its power away.
Reduces the charge.
It does. And sometimes wisdom means knowing when to just step away, detach from the storm for a bit. Go for a walk, get some water, protect your control, and come back calmer.
What if you mess up, you lose it, react badly?
It happens. We're human. The key then is repair. Don't just sweep it under the rug. Acknowledge it later. I realized I got triggered earlier. I spoke from emotion, not my best self. I'll work on that. That kind of self-awareness actually builds trust. It doesn't break it.
Okay, let's shift to influence. You
Yeah.
talked about quiet influence, not needing to be the loudest.
Right. Real influence often comes from your presence, your
Hmm.
consistency, your clarity, your calm. It's less about volume, more about resonance.
How is that built? What's the foundation?
Emotional credibility. When you speak, do people generally believe you because your words consistently match your actions? That's huge.
Integrity.
Yes. And it's rooted in genuine care for others, not just your own ego. When people sense you're coming from a place of wanting what's best for the group or for them, they naturally listen more closely.
And you mentioned modeling behavior.
One of the most powerful ways to influence. Want people to be calmer. Be calm. Want more honesty. Be rigorously honest. You don't have to announce it. Just live it. People notice.
What about questions? Can they be used for influence?
Oh, absolutely. Asking the right question at the right time can open someone's mind way more effectively than telling them what to think. What might happen if we tried it this way? What's your perspective on this? It invites collaboration.
And your energy. You said it enters the room before you do?
It really does. Walk in, centered, grounded, be real, be respectful. That presence has its own quiet influence.
How does feedback fit in? Giving difficult feedback.
Carefully. Frame it as an observation, maybe. Could I share something I noticed that might be helpful?
Yeah.
Avoid judgment. Focus on the behavior, not the person. And again, silence can be influential. Knowing when not to speak holds its own weight.
Okay, conflict. You said it's not the enemy, it's what you do next. How do you turn it into connection?
First job. Protect the relationship, not just win the argument. That's the mindset shift. Then listen for the emotion behind the words. Someone yelling, "You never listen," might really be feeling, "I feel invisible. I feel unimportant."
So listen deeper than the attack.
Yes. And take ownership. Even if it's just 5%, ask yourself, what's my part in this dynamic? Owning your piece, even a small piece, diffuses tension like nothing else,
And stay calm. Keep your voice low.
especially when theirs gets louder. Model the calm you want to see.
Yeah.
And don't forget the repair conversation afterwards. Once things cool down, revisit it. Hey, can we talk about what happened earlier? It's an invitation back to connection.
This feels related to reading the room. What does that actually involve?
It's about sensing the undercurrents. What's going on beneath the surface conversation, beneath the smiles, feeling the collective mood, the emotional temperature.
So you're noticing who's playing what role.
Right. Who's the talker? Who's the listener? Who's subtly challenging things? And is the overall vibe warm and open, or is it kind of tight and cautious?
And then asking yourself,
What does this room, this group, this moment actually need right now? Maybe it needs grounding. Maybe it needs energy. Maybe it needs someone to name the elephant in the room.
and you adapt your approach without being fake.
Exactly. You adjust your energy, your style, to meet the room where it is, but you stay authentic. You don't put on a performance. You also learn to read the silence in a group. Is it thoughtful? Is it fearful? Is it confused?
How do you walk into a room with that kind of presence?
Take a moment before you walk in. Center yourself. Breathe. Check your posture. Set an intention. My intention is to connect, or my intention is to listen deeply. And if group conflict arises, hold your ground on what matters, but offer your view respectfully. I hear you, and I see it a bit differently. May I share my perspective?
So adapting but without losing yourself, that's key.
Crucial. It's about adjusting how you show up without letting go of your core values or who you fundamentally are. Think of it like a tree. Your values are the deep roots. Your character is the solid trunk. Your communication style, your approach. Those are the flexible branches that can adapt to the wind.
So it's like wearing different hats for different situations, not wearing a mask that hides who you are.
Exactly. Hats serve a purpose. Masks hide the truth. It might mean being more direct with one person, more gentle with another. Giving lots of detail here, focusing on the big picture there, adapting to them to connect better.
What about things like cultural differences or code switching?
Those can be powerful tools for connection, absolutely. Yeah. Adapting your language or style to bridge a gap. But the key question is always, am I doing this out of respect and genuine connection or out of fear of not belonging? Intention matters.
And after all this interacting and adapting,
You need to return to center regularly. Take time after meetings, after intense conversations, to just check in with yourself. How do I feel? Did I stay true to myself? Recharge, reground.
okay, last big piece here. Rejection and judgment, they happen.
They absolutely do. It's not failure, it's just life. The crucial thing is, rejection doesn't define your worth. It can't.
Easier said than done, sometimes.
For sure. And judgment from others. Often it's way more about their stuff, their fears, their insecurities, their perspective, than it is about you.
So how do you handle it?
You practice belonging to yourself first, liking who you are, even when someone else doesn't approve. You learn to filter criticism, what part might be useful feedback and what part is just projection, and you build deep self-trust. Okay, that hurt, but I'm still okay. My worth isn't on the table here.
Recognizing the projection.
Yes. That person judging you might be in pain. You don't have to absorb it, and you definitely don't have to shrink yourself or silence your own truth to make them comfortable. Speak your truth, with intention, with heart, with care, but speak it.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, if there's one core thing to take away from all this,
So that old Maya Angelou wisdom, right? People won't always remember exactly what you said.
but they will always remember how you made them feel. That feeling. Being really heard, seen, understood, respected. That's what sticks.
And that kind of lasting connection, it isn't built overnight. It's not about big, flashy gestures.
No.
It grows slowly, like roots, through small, consistent acts of care, through presence, through just being reliably you over time.
Consistency, showing up with that same steady energy, that genuine interest again and again. Trust really is the soil, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And attention. In a world that's constantly pulling us away, giving someone your full, undivided presence, that's almost sacred. It says, you matter.
Yeah, remembering the little things too, their kid's name, how they take their coffee.
Those small acts of remembering, they weave a strong fabric over time. And vulnerability. Connection deepens when people feel safe enough to be real, to show the less polished parts of themselves.
And your job isn't to fix it.
No, don't judge, don't rush to fix, just hold the space. Be with them in it.
And repair. We talked about repair after conflict.
It's crucial for lasting bonds. Being willing to say, I messed up or I was hurt, but I still want to work through this. Those conversations are like glue.
And the best relationships, they help you grow, right?
They should challenge you, support you, encourage you to be more. And there's a balance, a rhythm of giving and receiving. It can't be all one way.
And sometimes connection means giving space.
Yes. Knowing when to step back, let someone breathe, heal, think. Trusting the connection is strong enough to handle a little distance, that's real love, real respect.
And finally, grace.
Grace. Seeing the good intention even when the execution wasn't perfect. Remembering the history, the good times. Being there not just when it's easy, but when it's messy and real.
Because ultimately what you're creating is a space where people feel,
I can breathe here.
I can be myself here.
I am safe here. That feeling, that's the heart of it all. Hashtag, tag, tag, outro.
So as we finish up this deep dive, maybe just take a moment to reflect on what being truly socially intelligent means. It's clearly so much more than just knowing stuff about people.
Right. It's how you treat them, how you see them, how you show up.
Yeah.
Consistently.
Yeah.
So maybe the simple takeaway is, go forward. Lead with presence, connect with care.
What kind of feeling do you want to leave behind in people's hearts? Because that legacy, the impact of real human connection, that's the stuff that truly lasts.